From 1986 to 1996, Toyota had a 10-year run with the Camry station wagon, and wagons, well, they didn't really last the test of time here in the United States. Well, not so fast. Here for 2025, I have a Crown Signia. This is essentially a Crown wagon. Today, I can't wait to show you all about this Crown Signia and what it can offer in Toyota's lineup. If you're excited for the wagon to be back in the United States for Toyota, smash that like button. Toyota refuses to call this a wagon in the States. It's a complete joke that they do that because, well, in all honesty, they don't want to write an early grade for this because they know every wagon that they've ever produced for the United States has failed or didn't sell enough for it to make a case for it to stay long term. Now, this is called the Crown Estate worldwide. What is an estate in other markets? Well, it means wagon. Now, this is a lifted wagon, and in some ways maybe it would compete with the Subaru Outback. Make sure to watch my review on the Subaru Outback. But I just compared this Crown Signia to the Lexus NX. They are similarly priced. This comes in a little bit less expensive for an equally equipped Lexus NX, and I'd be taking this over the NX. The NX does some things better, ride quality, NVH, like it's a little bit quieter, smoother ride overall, but I'm a sucker for the design and the looks and the practicality of this wagon, all right? So let's go ahead and get under the hood. I'm talking about the powertrain. You know, this is not the first Crown in America, for the rebirth of the Crown, I should say. We had about a 50-year lapse with the lack of a Crown in the United States, while the Crown still sold in Japan as a luxury sedan. But underneath the hood is just one powertrain, and the standard Crown sedan that we get in America has an optional 2.4 turbo hybrid. This just has a standard 2.5-liter hybrid that we see in the RAV4, but Toyota's tuned it to make 240 horsepower here. Now, I just filled it up at the gas station so we can do a true fuel mileage test. I will not be covering that in today's video. Stay tuned. That might be the loudest dump truck in the world of dump trucks. Goodness gracious. But stay tuned for my fuel economy test here on the Crown Signia. It is only rated at 38 miles per gallon, which I find kind of underwhelming. But hey, the Lexus NX that I just drove, it was rated at 39 miles per gallon, and I got 45 miles per gallon on it. All right, closing the hood here. I'll go ahead and put on the colors that's available, the Crown Signia. I would not be getting this black, but the black is a no-cost option. I just ran it through the touchless car wash, and it still doesn't look much cleaner, so you're probably gonna have to hand wash this or find a really, really good car wash to take it through. So this has the split headlight design, daytime running lights sit on top, and then we kind of have the headlights down below. And notice this little crease here. This is synonymous with other Crown models. Crown True sedan, the rear wheel drive sedan that we don't get in the United States, also has that cool hood mark, but the very beautiful hammerhead design here that is shared with the Prius, the Camry, for example, and the grille kind of has a spindle body grille. I call it the spindle body because that's what Lexus calls it, except on the RX, it's more solid up top, and then it gets more breathable down below. It's kind of the opposite effect, but this looks much better than any Lexus crossover in my opinion. As you come to the side, we have 19-inch wheels here, but if you get the other trim level that's available here in the United States, that has 21-inch wheels. I prefer these smaller wheels. It's a better ride quality, and this model costs less. Now, you won't get some of the features I'll talk about that you can get in the limited model, but regardless, it's an impressively equipped vehicle, and it better be for around $45,000. Mid-40s is where this vehicle starts before any options, okay? Standard all-wheel drive, I forgot to mention that. XLE badge, really small Toyota logo, Crown logo, light bar across the back. I'll probably do a night review of this for you guys. This does have a kick sensor, by the way, but the car's on, so it's probably not gonna lift up for me. All right, in the back, well, look how much cargo space. I was able to fit my e-bike back here, and that thing is a mammoth. It's a cargo bike / kid carrier bike. That thing's huge. Got a tonneau cover here, kind of the old school heavy duty tonneau cover. And of course you can fold down the rear seats back here, but even though this is carpeted, interestingly, there's no like accessory power. That's a bit strange that there's no 12-volt back here. You think a wagon would have a little bit more of that functionality, that more usable Accessory power just doesn't exist in the back here. I like the Toyota Crown mat. Look how big this is. Let's go and fold up the rear seat so you have an idea of the rear cargo. Toyota says 6 feet from here to the back of the vehicle, and then you have this little pop-out thing that extends the floor, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's fold these seats back up. This is my favorite interior color for the Crown Signia, and it's great. I love it. All right, so here's your idea of the back cargo area. It's huge, and look, I can fit underneath this lift gate no problem at 6'1". So yeah, tons of cargo capacity. It goes really, really deep. I feel like the Lexus NX had a taller roof line, so it was just a little bit different of an opening, but still a huge opening here, and a very low entry to get your big stuff in there, your little stuff in there. It's just, yeah, it's a true wagon. Now, again, it's a little bit lifted. It's in between a crossover and a sedan in terms of ride height. We'll talk more about that when we drive it. Yeah, lots of legroom back here, much more than the Lexus NX that I compared it to. Standard rear vents, standard rear USBs as well. Folding this down, we have a glossy black, you know, it's a little bit metallic as well. Cup holder trim, removable headrest if you want to do that. One light back here, handles above each door. Now, you don't see a roof here, no glass roof. However, if you get the Crown Signia, the limited model, that comes standard with the panel roof. All right, I love the backs of the seats here. Very, very comfortable if you ever need to dig your knees into it if someone's like 8 feet tall in front of you. But very comfortable back seat here. We also have standard outboard heated seats, which is pretty cool. That's when you can definitely tell that this model is designed and made in Japan, because outboard heated rear seats on a Toyota or a Lexus in America is very rare, and it's typically reserved for the most expensive trim, and this is, like I said, the entry-level trim of the Crown Signia. How is the quality of these door slams? Oh, that's pretty good, not gonna lie. Pretty satisfactory. And the doors have a nice heft to them. They feel luxurious. Getting on the inside. Now, this is an optional feature done by the distributor Southeast Toyota, and I'll do a quick shout out to Southeast Toyota and Jermaine Toyota of Naples for providing this Camry XLE for us for the review. All right, standard also auto folding mirrors, standard memory seats, standard 12-inch screen here, standard 12-inch screen here, and standard ventilated seats. So I mean, this thing is equipped perfectly fine. No, there's no head-up display. I don't even think in America Toyota equips the Limited with the head-up display with the optional tech package. Now, the optional tech package on the Crown Signia Limited is the only way for you to get parking sensors and the 360 camera. It also gives you, like, I think, a digital rearview mirror, for example. So if you need to have those features, you're going to have to get the Limited and then also spend an extra chunk of change. All right, I also have a standard heated steering wheel, 2 different settings here. Fantastic. I love the physical climate control. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly here. Also volume knob. USB-C's here, standard wireless charger, pretty traditional Toyota hybrid shifter here, auto brake hold, different drive modes, which I'm not gonna be messing with today. You also have a USB-C here and a 12-volt accessory power and a felt lined bottom and a felt lined side. That's a nice feature. Felt lined side, bottom, and even this additional tray here is felt lined, and this can open up from the opposite side. I like the two-tone dash, how it sweeps around the screen, soft touch. Well, this part's not soft touch, but this part is over there, and that part back there is soft touch. No sunglasses holder, which I believe I had in the Lexus NX, for example. So a couple more things. We do have a standard heated windshield. Well, mainly for your windshield wipers, and then you also have your headlight washers, which pop out and spray them, a pretty nice luxurious feature as well. The steering wheel is not automated. That you would have that in a Lexus, for example. This is still a manual tilt and telescopic steering wheel. All right, now buckling up, putting it into drive. I have a high seat height in here, so 6'1". This reminds me of the normal Crown. One of the issues I had, well, really the biggest issue I have with that car is I would hit my head getting in and out of it. I'm not having that issue here on the Crown Signia, but my head is really close to the ceiling and the opening of the car. And I wish I could lower my seat more, and I'm stuck here, all right? And as a result, with this weird posture for me, again, at my height, I have to change some things around. So since I can't drop the seat as low as I would like, I have to drop the steering wheel lower. And that then cuts into my visibility of this 12-inch screen. And so it's just like kind of a sacrifice I have to make. Now, if this had, let's say, the Prius's or the BZ4X's little screen that sits up closer to the windshield, that's away from the dash, I could set this steering wheel as low as possible, but if I do this, I can't see, it cuts right through my line of vision. I can't see the speed. I can't see most of this 12-inch screen. So I kind of have to sacrifice with it here, because why do I like it here? Well, I like being able to rest my elbows here on the really soft armrest, and I'm just not able to do that if the steering wheel's too high, okay? And it's just personal preference. So you just got to find the perfect settings for where you're comfortable in the car. And for me, it just cuts off a little bit of the screen when the steering wheel is in the right orientation for how I like to drive. All right, so just a minor complaint. That's probably not going to affect 99% of people out there. Most people are shorter than me anyways, where you're probably not going to have long legs and short torso and all this weird positioning I have to do. And I'm also extraordinarily picky. All right. So ride quality here, it's good. Is it as good as let's say the Camry LE? And I know I'm comparing a $45,000-ish Crown Signia XLE to a upper 20s, low 30s Camry. Well, I would say they're on the same playing field. In fact, the Camry actually might have a little bit better ride quality on the base trim. I think the base Camry has 16 or 17-inch wheels, so you got these fat tires that really soak up the bumps. So this does feel a little bit stiffer than the base Camry with the thick tires, but I still think it's a really good ride quality, and I think it compared well against the luxury Lexus NX 350h, all right? Where this blows that Camry out of the water, should I say Camry LE? I know I'm comparing apples to oranges here. This has dual pane glass here, so you have acoustic glass, and it is a much quieter interior experience than the Camry. If you have loud vehicles passing you by, I still hear them. It's not as quiet as the Lexus, but it's really close. So I'm happy with the amount of luxury I'm getting in here for around the mid 40s. Now, if you equip this in the limited with the optional tech package, that's when it starts to get lost on me a little bit. But even though it might lack some of the luxury NVH that you see on an NX or an RX, the Crown Signia, it just makes up for it in style and having that unique wagon physique, capability, and better handling. That's something that this vehicle did a lot better than the Lexus NX, which costs about the same. This handles a lot better than an NX, standard NX. I'm not comparing it to the NX F Sport with the stiffer suspension, adaptive dampers, real big wheels on it, that sort of thing. No, this is probably not going to handle as well as an NX F Sport, but in terms of any other NX, this handles better than. It has less body roll. It feels lighter, even though it's heavier than an NX. It just feels lighter. And maybe it's because of that placebo effect that a Lexus gives you. It's so well insulated that it feels very heavy, when in reality it was actually lighter, about 120 pounds or something lighter than this Crown Signia. Comfort in here is fantastic. The seats are nice and big. They feel like they are plucked out of a Camry, except a little bit better materials than what you see on a Camry. So, I believe they're standard leather in here. I'll fact check myself if they're not standard leather, but I believe they are. They're very, very comfortable. Like I said, my arms really sink well into the armrests. And yeah, I'm a happy camper in here. The seats, the cushion isn't too short. No, I don't have thigh extensions, but I don't feel like I would need it in this vehicle. So let's throw it around the turn here. Yeah, it feels great. Feels really, really good. Feels, well, there's a red Cybertruck. You don't see that every day. But it feels really, really good in the turns. It feels light. It feels stable and pretty responsive with minimal body roll for a lifted wagon. Oh, we have some sort of accident over here. I hope everyone's okay. Yeah, a little T-bone action. I'm glad it wasn't this beautiful Crown Signia. Here's the thing, if you want to see my highway driving impressions, wait for my fuel economy test. But for in terms of in-town driving, I have all the power and smoothness I need here. Now, keep in mind, I'm also reviewing an Accord hybrid, which, why am I going to compare it to that? Well, you know, the Accord used to have a wagon too, but since we're talking about hybrid powertrains, the Accord's powertrain doesn't feel quite as responsive or powerful as this, and it's not. On paper, it's got 204 horsepower. This has 240. The Accord is front-wheel drive only. This is all-wheel drive standard, but the Accord's powertrain is smoother, and it is quieter. So keep that in mind. This is just, it's a more performance oriented. Now, however, I think this might get better fuel economy than the Accord, but I'll have to test both. So stay tuned on the channel because I will test both. Put over 100 miles on both of them this week, and give you guys a real world fuel economy test between with both of the vehicles. But if you guys are wondering what the performance is like, 0 to 60 is around 7.5 seconds here. I did 0 to 60 in 7.4 seconds on the Lexus NX, which uses the exact same hybrid powertrain and all-wheel drive setup as this. And that vehicle weighs, like I said, about a little over 100 pounds more than this. So this is probably going to be around 7.4 seconds, 0 to 60. All right. The brakes in here, I'm getting used to. It's a lot of travel. There's not as much bite as I would like, but the brakes I can live with here much better than I can live with the brakes in the NX. The NX brakes were like very little brake, and then it gave you like a triple helping of brakes. It was very unpredictable. This is still a very predictable brake pedal. It's not a performance brake pedal. Don't expect it to be. It's soft and there's a lot of travel to it. All right, kind of like the suspension here. So yeah, in terms of driving, it's very luxurious, very calming, very smooth. If you need to put the pedal down, it just goes. There's no waiting, and it is loud. So keep that in mind. This is a louder powertrain than the Accord I just brought up, than the Lexus NX. You might be saying, Kirk, has the same powertrain on paper as the NX, but the NX has more insulation and just a smoother on-off experience with the engine compared to the application here on the Crown Signia. All right, besides the things I've already complained about, is there anything else for me to complain about the Crown Signia? Well, I wish I could get the parking sensors here. Again, I'm complaining about the same thing that I was earlier. I wish I could get the parking sensors standard on this XLE. It would have been great to also get the plug-in hybrid powertrain. I don't need, well, there's a new Prius, speaking of plug-in hybrid. I don't need the hybrid max with 340 horsepower in here. Yes, it would be cool to have that option. I don't need it. I would much rather have the plug-in hybrid prime powertrain in here that we see on the RAV4. That would make this like a power wagon, and also super efficient and flexible wagon. Remind me in some ways of the Volvo V60 Polestar tuned TH recharge. I know it's a mouthful. And again, the brakes, when you need to stop quickly here, the brake pedal just keeps going down and down and down, and you just want more brake to happen, and it just doesn't. You just have to keep burying your foot. It doesn't bother me because in Florida, sunroofs make the vehicles hotter, but the fact that you don't have a basic sunroof here on the base trim is kind of underwhelming, especially when you're paying this much money. But I can't tell you how many people out there would be happy not to have a leaky, prone to break, a prone to leak sunroof that makes the vehicle hotter. So I get it, and it just depends on the person. And I guess one last thing, it would have been cool to have like a base LE, have a smaller screen here, smaller screen here. It would have been awesome if this wagon came in. There's a nice GR86 right there. It would have been awesome if this wagon came in at $40,000 to give us more option out there. There's just not enough wagons, and I get it. Toyota's cashing in on the wagon niche here, and it's not cheap. And you might be saying, Kirk, it's a Crown. It shouldn't be cheap, but Toyota doesn't even market this really as the true Crown in America. They put Toyota badges on it instead of Crown badges. I mean, I guess I have the optional floor or the door sill here that says Crown on it, and you have small Crown lettering on the back, but there's really nothing else in the vehicle that says Crown. It would have been cool to have it branded into the dash or something. So it's like Toyota reluctantly calls it a Crown in the United States, and I see that as a well, there's a nice Ferrari there. You know, Toyota doesn't want it to market it too closely to a Lexus, so they got to try to strip out as much of the Crown-ishness with, you know, the actual Crown logo. I would love to have optional Crown logos. It's just, even if it was not from the factory, at least offer it at the dealership as an option. That would make this so cool. And there's a white. Gosh, we have every color of the Cybertruck that is not offered from the factory. We just saw white Cybertruck or red Cybertruck. Anyways, I really wish this had the Crown badges. And I told the lead designer at the Crown event over and over, and he was probably getting a little bit sick of me. But I'm like, hey, the Americans want the Crown badges on the Crown vehicles. We don't care for the Toyota badge. And yeah, he we'll see what happens. I don't think anything is going to happen to it, but I had to voice my strong desire for the Crown badges. So not a lot to complain about here in the Crown Signia. It looks awesome. It feels like a Toyota hybrid. It feels like a any other Toyota, really. It's just a little bit nicer in here than a Camry or a RAV4. It borders close to a Lexus in terms of that luxury feel that you get. Not quite there though. And it costs almost as much as a Lexus, so it better come close. But I'm going to end it there. I love the fact that Toyota brought this vehicle into America. Long live the wagon. If I owned a Crown Signia, I would be lowering it immediately. Put some lowering links in here or something. I want this thing to be more wagon than it is. I know it's kind of like a hopped up wagon at this point. So beggars can't be choosers though. Thank you, Toyota, for bringing in the beautiful Crown Signia, and thank you to my local dealer, Germain Toyota of Naples, for supplying this review sample for us. I'll see you guys in the fuel economy test of the Crown Signia. Let me know what you think I'll be getting miles per gallon wise down below. Again, it's rated only at 38. I want to say it's rated at like 39 in town and 37 on the highway, something like that. So I'm hoping to smash that fuel economy rating in the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care and peace out.